Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Growing in OKC. And I'm at my friend Justin's house. I'm going to be telling you all how you can utilize your home, utilize the property that you have in order to better grow without getting things like a greenhouse. Now my friend Justin has this giant window here at the front of his house, which allows him the opportunity, instead of having a greenhouse, to grow right here in the bay windows which face south, so they get at least 6, maybe 8 hours of sun every single day, and it's allowing him to start his plants in a controlled environment which won't get too hot like a greenhouse, but won't get too cold like putting them outside on a south-facing window. So why don't you come inside, and Justin's going to explain some of the things he does to start his plants.
So using the Burpee or whatever, the seed starting kits, this is a 72. We're working with larger plants. 32 one is what we're using for the larger plants, squashes, pumpkins, zucchinis, cucumbers, etc. So they've gotten to the point to where they're ready to be at least acclimated to the soil conditions that I have in my garden. So me and Ish went out, got some peat pots, 5-inch peat pots. We have transplanted them inside there with a soil mixture that is very similar to what we have out there. I have about 4 of each. We're also going to be doing it with a few of these over here. I have some bush cucumber as well as something else that needs to move. I'm not sure what it is. The smaller ones will stay inside here for a bit. They've got enough room to grow, but really, because it's early March, these guys are a little bit too tender to be brought out right now. We're still sitting at night somewhere in the upper 30s. Freezing occasionally, so I want to give them at least another 3 weeks. This should be a more than adequate home for them during that period. And the way that I transplant the plants is I cut them out. So I bought this one brand new, and we pop them out. But the cool thing is that Burpee sells pellet refills that you can just put right here at the bottom of these, and you can reuse them for your next one. So I'm going to be starting a bunch of seed here either tonight or tomorrow. I'm just going to reuse everything that I'm taking out. I have 2 cats. I've had them for quite some time, so I can't just get rid of the cats because I want to grow things as much as I might want to. With that being said, I had to figure out a way to prevent the cats from eating all the little plants. Now this Burpee 72 retainer unit type thing for the seedlings, it's great, especially for the small tender things, to really get them up and going. However, what I found in my first couple of years of growing is that occasionally one would just go missing, or it would have half of its leaves gnawed off, or even worse, it wouldn't have any leaves at all. So I knew I had to create something, and that's this little thingamajig that I've created. It's just chicken wire. I found this storage unit on, I believe it was on Craigslist. It was some sort of storage, a part of a storage unit. I just put it over, and essentially it just covers the top of it. I have had no issues with these type of units. Now, alright, for those of you who are watching who grow in Oklahoma, and even for those of you who are growing it all over the country, there's a few things that I wanted to also show that I picked up on this year that I think is really going to help me. You see, we get a lot of wind in Oklahoma, actually one of the windiest places in the nation. Despite the fact that Chicago's a windy city, Oklahoma's more windy, at least Oklahoma City. With that being said, that brings up a whole host of problems for transplants. If you don't have really good stems, if you haven't hardened them off correctly, you could just have them up and blow over, and I've had that happen occasionally. So one thing that I do to help stimulate better stem growth is bring in a fan. And you'll read a lot about that, but I go ahead and just use a box fan on mine. Use it at the lowest setting, and you might ask, oh, isn't that a little bit too much for these guys? Well, not exactly, and I don't think that I'm going to have any problems. The one key thing that you'll see here is that as these guys jiggle and as they move, they become a lot more stocky and a lot more sturdy. I don't leave it on but more than an hour, and I change the position of the fan, even around the smaller, a more thin-stemmed one as well. So just again, something that you can try out if you've ever had any sort of difficulties with your plants becoming a little bit too unsturdy in that wind. And what we're doing here, and then I'm going to explain what we just did.
Okay.
And we'll show some of what we're doing over there.
Sounds great. Camera's rolling.
Oh, it
It's alright, I'll just edit all that out.
So, you can see from the rigging standpoint, I just got some rope and an old piece of furniture.